This MMA 30 segment is powered by The Gun Store. Next time you're in Las Vegas, if you want to shoot a real machine gun, do it at The Gun Store at 2900 East Tropicana.
2 title fights, and this one's featherweight. Tough fight for him, but can't wait for him to win it tomorrow night.
It's a very dangerous fight, but if he's comfortable holding 145 pounds, he's a big 145er. He's got a lot of reach, he's got a lot of experience, he's very smart, and he knows this is his last shot. So I think Kenny's it's a do or die fight for him, and he's gonna go out on his shield or win this fight. I think he's not gonna hesitate. I think he hesitated when he fought BJ Penn. There was a lot of times that BJ was chasing him down, looking to strike with him, and Kenny did a lot of moving away and didn't pull the trigger. He's learned from that. I think this fight's going to be very different, and I think he's going to go after Aldo. And I think a real key to this fight is if he can get on top of Aldo the way Mark Hominick got on Aldo. We know Aldo has a real good jiu-jitsu game, but how good is Aldo fighting off of his back? How good is Aldo if a guy gets on top of him and threatens him with submissions or cuts him open with elbows?
I know one thing, and this is his final title shot, and he's going to go in for awards tomorrow night. I really believe that.
Well, it might not be his final title shot. What if it's real close? What if it's a draw? No one knows.
But it will be this. Close. It'll be the culmination of everything that Kenny Florian is. From the first time he ever took Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, to he and Keith living in Rio, living at Gracie Barra, basically, and training and getting their black belts, to his first fight, to all the time he spent with Team Sigiltong under the guidance of Mark Delagrani, to all the trips to the gym with Peter Welch and Southie, to now transitioning to Faraz Sahabi. This fight tomorrow night is a culmination of everything that Kenny has ever done and everything that Kenny is. Cutting to 45, he said, for the first fight, was the worst experience of his life. Yeah. Is it easier this time? So you're going to get everything Kenny Florian is about. Will it be enough to beat Jose Aldo? We'll find out.
Or Ken Flo.
Next up.
But I do know that Gilbert Melendez is one of the best 155-pounders on the planet, if not the best. Another guy is Eddie Alvarez. Eddie Alvarez, we got to steal him from Bellator because he's just beating the shit out of all those guys that are over in the 155-pound class over there. I would like to see him in the UFC, see how he fares against the best guys.
But what about let's say Pettis wins tomorrow night? What about Pettis and?
Pettis is right up there.
Pettis is right up there. But it's a lot of
so is Ben Henderson.
Yeah,
Ben Henderson, just
don't forget. Clay Guida and Ben Henderson, they're going to fight on the Fox night on November 12th. That's a huge fight, and I think that's a huge factor to what the future holds for Gilbert Melendez as well.
The way Ben Henderson handled Jim Miller, man, that opened up a lot of people's eyes. I think he's responding to the higher level in the UFC, and he's gotten better as well.
Yeah, he has.
And I think Pettis, you're going to see a higher level Pettis. Everyone is getting better and better and better. There's a pressure cooker going on in that division. That is, in my opinion, the most stacked division in all of the UFC. It's 155. There's nothing like it. There's great fighters in every weight class, but man, 155 is crazy. Yeah.
Since the Showtime kick, Ben Henderson's been pissed off, and you can see it. And he wants that belt
I just got a Gilbert Melendez text message.
There you go. So, you know what? Add Gilbert to the mix, man. Add him to the mix.
Right,
thank you. Next one over here.
He wants tickets to the show. It's a great fight. It's a great fight. That's one of the sleeper fights in this card. This card is so stacked. There's a lot of fights that people are sleeping on. Demian Maia and Jorge Santiago. It's another fight people are sleeping on. There's a lot of fights on this undercard that are nasty. And Jeremy Stephens and Anthony Pettis is a good one. I think technically Pettis is a little bit sharper with his stand-up, a little more tools. But Jeremy Stephens is one of the toughest guys in the division. Ridiculous knockout power and carries it late into the third round. So, and he believes that he can get a hold of Pettis and blast him. He believes that Pettis is overrated, a lot of trash talk. That's a great fight, man.
The length of Pettis is going to be a big factor, either on the feet or on the ground. If Stephens does put him on his back, he's long and lean.
And Pettis is a wicked guard.
Yep, and a great guard, great ground game. And Jeremy, obviously, Marcus Davis fought very well against Jeremy for 2.5 rounds, and then boom, that was it. And then Melvin Gillard talked about that, and how, Marcus stayed maybe too aggressive there, and that's a great debate in fighting, but it's a great matchup. I'll tell you the one thing, though, there's a lot of momentum in Milwaukee, Wisconsin right now. Duke Rufus is probably the trainer of the year. Duke Rufus is killing it with all his guys. Anthony's little brother just won. There's a good vibe. Will it be enough? We'll see, but watch for the reach and the length of Anthony Pettis and see if he can use that for his advantage.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you. Elusiveness against creativeness. You're talking about two of the coolest strikers in the history of MMA. Lyoto's way back here, right? It's crazy.
Yeah. But John Jones is elusive just because he's so long. No one's really been able to touch that dude. It's really kind of crazy that no one's even cracking him. I mean, it's like taking like some decent grazing punches. Nothing has really hit him solid and like rocked his knees ever. Machida's been there before, he's lost before, he's been stopped before. He's tasted it all. He's had a full spectrum of experiences inside the octagon, and he's a sniper. Machida does crazy shit like that jumping front kick that he hit Randy with. He can snipe you with things that you don't expect and move away a lot. So it's gonna be interesting, but man, skill-wise and just for sheer freak athleticism, John Jones is the future. He's the present and he's the future. It's gonna be hard for anybody to beat that dude. That's another level. MMA from the Royce Gracie days from '93 to today, we've seen this steady increase in the level of a fighter, like the level of skill, the level of athleticism, and then John Jones just went zoop. There's a new level now. There's a Rory McDonald level now. There's these new guys coming up. They're just taking it higher and higher and higher. And John Jones right now represents the peak.
Yeah, I like John Jones, but man, I'm one of a Machida fan, so I'm going for Machida because me and my perspective, the way I think about it, in order to beat John Jones, I think you need a real good counter-attacker, and I think Machida is there to beat that.
He is good at that, and he likes, he leans back and he likes to come in straight. He'll get his strikes and he leans back again. The question will be, can Jones time it as he comes in? Because every time Rampage even thought about throwing a punch, he had a foot on his head. And that'll be the thing, but you're right. I mean, if he can slip and rip, if he can get inside, it's going to be a very creative match.
Styles make fights. It should be interesting.
I appreciate it, fellas.
Thank you very much. Next one over here. The combo feature will be entertaining because it's Chael talking.
That's what I'm saying. I got Chael on that one, man. I think Chael going to take him down, beat his face through the mat, but
you never know, man.
Yeah, you never know with this, man. Another thing, man. Boo you. But anyway. So, and what about I know Rashad Evans pulled out from the fight, so now you got Machida fighting.
Well, he didn't pull out, he just couldn't accept it yet. He has pins in his thumb still.
Gotcha, all right. What you got on that prediction?
Well, for the first one, Brian Stann and Chael Sonnen is very interesting. First of all, you got to realize Brian Stann's a very intelligent guy, and he knows he's probably going to be on his back. So I guarantee you he's been working on his triangles, and he's got a good triangle. He submitted Mike Masenzio with a triangle. A lot of people didn't see that coming because he's a dude that doesn't just work on his strengths. He works on everything. And I guarantee you he's going to have something tricky up his sleeve. But while he's standing, Chael Sonnen has got real good hands, too. Chael knocked down Anderson with a straight left, and his takedowns are out of this world. I mean, he's got some of the best double leg takedowns in MMA. His power double, he runs across the cage taking guys down. So it's hard to stop Chael Sonnen from taking you down. It's like, what can he do to you once he gets you down? Can you fight him off your back? Paulo Filho, Anderson Silva, both those guys have tapped him off his back. And Jeremy Horn tapped him from his back as well. So that's where Chael's got a weakness. Chael's got a weakness off his back, getting tapped. Anato Babalusa Brawl, got him in a heel hook. There's a lot of things you can catch Chael in. So if I had to guess, I'd say that Brian Stann's probably working real hard on his submissions.
And when you look at Brian Stann, you're looking at one of the most disciplined, conditioned, and mentally strong men in the world. Not just an athlete. I mean, this is a Marine who went into battle and saved his fellow Marine. I mean, this is truly the All-American. And now he is having fun at 185. He's found a home at Greg Jackson's. That's a great place to get great training. That's a great place to start working from your back with great fighters on top. The other thing is Brian's confidence is like it's never been before. And Brian's hands are like they've never been before. We saw it against Lehman. I think if he can get into a clinch game and avoid the takedowns that Joe talked about, lean on him early, a la Randy Couture, then all of a sudden that meter starts going to the Brian Stann direction. Either way, it sounds like the winner's going to get a shot at the title. So, Chael, this is ultra important for Chael Sonnen. Because all he's talked about is Anderson Silva. So that fight needs to happen again.
Go play the lottery, kid.
GSP lost his belt here in Houston.
Oh, so Houston is Jake's?
Tomorrow.
That's ridiculous.
Well, I'll tell you what.
I hope you're a gambler, so you're going to lose all your money.
Yeah, if that does happen, it won't be as big upset as one when Matt the Terra Serra knocked out GSP.
Yeah, that was a big upset.
That's crazy.
You can't predict, man. Nobody knows. That's why I never get predictions. This sport's too crazy. You can say what one guy needs to do or what another guy needs to do, but you never know. The sport's just too nuts.
I was pretty sure Shogun was too much for John Jones.
Really?
Yeah, then I was pretty sure that Rampage and Shape was too much for John Jones. I'm pretty sure nobody's too much for John Jones now. I tap. Although Lyoto Machida's a great fight at UFC 140.
And I think we can all agree that Anderson Silva is pound for pound.
Yes, he is.
He's the best ever. He's the best guy to ever walk the face of the planet. For sure.
Houston,
Thanks, brother.
I want to ask, what's your predictions on the main event and co-main event?
Mr. Goldberg, my prediction on the main event is that Gray Maynard will try to use his wrestling more than he did in the second matchup. Gray was 9 of 10 in his takedowns the first time they fought. Very one-sided, unanimous decision victory. He was 3 of 11 in the second fight. What Joe and I said, he punched himself out, and then his takedowns didn't have anything on it. Frankie had great takedown defense. I don't know what Frankie does different. I think Frankie obviously tries to avoid getting hit, but Frankie's footwork and his speed and his precision boxing is great. I don't know that Frankie takes down a well-shaped and well-conditioned Gray Maynard who's not gassed, and he did take him down a lot later because he was kind of gassed. That'll be the difference I look for in that one. See if Gray goes back and uses his wrestling more. Randy Couture's talked about that. And in the co-main event, Kenny Florian is a great striker. Kenny Florian's also a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Kenny Florian will be one of the biggest, if not the biggest, 145 that Jose Aldo has fought. And he's a southpaw. Question is, will that create any openings for Kenny Florian against Jose Aldo, who pretty much has ripped through everybody in his MMA career?
I agree with what he said.
Yes.
This MMA 30 segment is powered by The Gun Store. Next time you're in Las Vegas, if you want to shoot a real machine gun, do it at The Gun Store at 2900 East Tropicana.